Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Horrific Chat. In this segment, we speak to independent horror creators to discuss their work, influences, and journey into the genre. Today, we're joined by Dick Beale, filmmaker of short horror film and bad taste comedies. Good morning, Dick. How are you?
I'm good. Everything was just blowing up. Hi, Colin.
I think we're getting a wee bit
I'm
of
great,
feedback
actually.
there.
Yeah. It's okay. I've killed it.
It's always the
It's
way,
all
right?
good now.
Folks, we test this before we go live. And always, the minute you hit that live button, the gremlins just come out to play. It's always
Yeah,
the way
it's
with the internet.
sounds like my life. Anyway, good morning, night, midnight,
Good morning.
wherever it is in the world.
Yeah, we're both in the morning. We're like across the globe from each other. But we'll make it happen. That's the important thing. It's still
Yes,
a weekend.
definitely, mate. Yeah, I'm all right. I've got a coffee, got a Red Bull. I'm waking up. So
Have to
I
be
did night
caffeinated.
shift at a seedy bar that I work at. So I've only had a couple of hours sleep, but there's probably not much difference between bar work and filmmaking work when it comes to like only a few hours sleep and getting things done.
Yeah,
Just
get
gotta
into
do
the
it.
zone. Thanks very much for coming on. Honestly, really appreciate it. You
My
actually,
pleasure, my friend.
how did you find us, by the way? Because you actually joined we have a group for our
I have
competitors,
no idea.
and you just
I-
popped up
I
because I
don't
don't
know, I
advertise that group. Oh no, I've broken them already. I've broken
You
the ass.
there?
Yeah.
Someone was just trying to ring me from Sweden, but I'm back. I missed everything you just said. Then everything is cut out. Gremlins.
Yeah, God, this is gonna be fun. You should see some of our early streams, like everything that broke online. That was just brilliant. And that was half a thing, putting out fires and things blowing up, and I got kicked out of my own chat.
We will get through it. We will get through it. Do not
Absolutely.
worry.
Here, you live in hope and you just keep cracking on. That's the important thing. Don't stop. And
That's how I got a film made.
Yeah. Funny, that's actually what I want to talk to you about, because flip's sake, 7 years, man. That's some going. I have to say.
That's a grey area. 7 years from conception. When I started getting the idea to get together, and then writing, and then building it up, getting money, getting a crew together, and I'd already started filming it before I'd even finished the screenplay, basically, because I've got like cameos in it, like Lawrence Harvey from the Human Centipede 2 and the editor. Lawrence
God,
is in it.
Disturbing.
Yeah, yes,
He's
he's a lovely fella, but he's very disturbing in the film. Like he came over to Australia, and I was like, oh, I've got to get Lawrence. And I've met him before. I'm in a thing called Monster Fest, which is a film festival over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I screen, and I've been running for 26 years now a short film program called Trashorama, Australia's nastiest short horror genre and bad taste comedy
wanted to talk
film
to you.
program.
I do actually have notes, so I'm sort of trying to be professional.
I've got coffee.
But
that's how I met Lawrence anyway. So
yeah.
And I started to film this trailer I knew I needed to make. So I put Lawrence in there and some other local identities and made a short trailer to do a Kickstarter campaign. And that sort of took me about 1.5 to 2 years to get together while I was still writing the screenplay and trying to work out how to get money together to make the film. So that's why it's like 7 years to make. And yeah, I did it all pretty much on my own back. Had a Kickstarter campaign, and a lot of them people were through the film festival that I'd been running for the last 26 years. Well, it's 26 years now, so it was 20 odd years then. So building up my network, but it's been a long time planning to make Australia's first splatterpunk video nasty Ribspreader. So I did it.
I was actually just watching the trailer again before I went live, just to remind myself, and just
the new trailer, the teaser one that I've done completed since I made the film. Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm. A lot of fun. I think I've spoken to a few sort of film producers, and especially indie horror. In this world of button click, want it now, especially when we talk about crowdfunding, do people appreciate how long it bloody takes to create something, especially a film if you're doing it with your own bat? Do people not quite have that understanding that if you're backing something, you're not getting it like next week, as if it's a bloody Amazon delivery? You're in for the long haul.
Yeah, you've got to be on there all the time, pushing and pushing and pushing. But then there's a balancing act. You don't want to spam everyone too much, or they're just going to go, "Oh, nah, I'm sick of this," and they'll you know they'll piss you off, So
Yeah, too much of just.
you've got to be on there all the time. You've got like a month, I think, wasn't it a month, to just continually like push, 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 and you've got to have rewards, and you've got to people put money in. Some people will put money in just to help you because they believe in what you do and they know you. Other people, they want the T-shirts or the stuff that you've got, or the download that they'll eventually get of the film. But you've got to keep the cost down for that as well, because postage and stuff like that all goes up, all adds to it. And what you want to do is make money to put into your film. And I only asked for like 20,000 Australian dollars, which is nothing at all. I ended up getting 24,000, which it's nothing to make a feature film. And I've got puppets in this film, miniatures in the film, heaps of practical effects. I've got cameos by stars and rock icon, like Rat Scabies out of the Damned is in the film and stuff like that.
You seem to have a great support. Yeah. One thing I've noticed, you have a massive support network there. Like you almost have like a family vibe of people that are just coming together to make a movie. And that's something we're missing with the mainstream. That's why I'm a major proponent for independent creation, because there's that family sort of atmosphere and people are in the want to help their mates out, so to speak.
Yeah.
You mentioned like getting managers, creating managers, not a small thing. Like somebody casting them, going to concept, and even if it's an STL, you still have to design the bloody thing. Like that's some going, and that's a lot of network, and people have faith in your product to give their time and their skill.
Yeah, I guess when I was talking to them about the film, maybe my passion for the project and my obsession. You've got to be obsessed about your film, because it's hard work, man. It's a 90-minute film. I've made a lot of short films before that, but never a 90-minute film, and such epic proportions compared to everything else. Like most of my other films just took one weekend to shoot, and this took like 2 years, and we throw in a world plague to slow things down, sickness,
that kind of gets in the way of things.
These little things that life throws in there, sickness, locations blowing up or getting destroyed, having to make new locations to make up for the ones, or find new locations, build sets, because there's no one's going to let you do what I did to, like, we built our own punk rock stage for this punk rock gig. Had an electric chair on there and electrocuted someone.
You actually see a bit of that in the trailer, don't you, of the gig?
Yeah, I showed you a bit of that. Yeah, so we built all that because there was nowhere in town that I thought was like suitable, and they're going to let us do all that. Have like 50 or 60 drunk out of their mind punk rockers and misfits and freaks in there, throwing bottles around the room in pigs' heads and going absolutely batshit bonkers for an afternoon. So we went and rented out for a small fee my friend's punk rock warehouse, and we built a stage out of pallets and everything. There is going to be coming up. It's been screened at the Adelaide Film Festival before my film was even finished. It's called Video Nasty: The Making of Ribspreader. So there was a 6-part web series that, keep an eye out, the Closer Productions made it, about the making of my film and the insane shit that I've had to
what we'll do is, obviously, all your links are in the description, so people want to check you out.
Just go to that hasn't been finished yet, but yeah.
You're there.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely, once that becomes available, drop it and I'll add it in a comment and keep people up to date. Sorry, we're going off on our first tangent, but Chris in the chat here.
I'm good at that.
And then we'll sort of jump back. Anyone who's been in this show knows we go like this for like a flipping pinball.
That's my brain, mate. It just suits off.
It's the best way. I hate doing this. Well, tell me when you first picked up a camera. Tell me when you first wrote this. It's flipping boring as hell.
No worries, mate. Yeah, just go off, and I'll probably just go off on another tangent and not even answer your question.
So Chris is asking here, does the source of the financing affect the final movie? Like, if a movie is crowdsourced, are you more likely to include a lot of fan service in the movie? That comes under stretch goals, doesn't it? If you're teasing, I
So,
don't know what you mean by fan service.
yeah,
Um,
sure, yeah. Oh, I can tell you what I did do though, if that sort of answers a. It doesn't
yeah, well,
really
we can
answer the
also we
question.
can.
Okay, so I got Lloyd Kaufman in it, who made the Toxic Avenger from Troma Entertainment. Lloyd Kaufman, the legendary Lloyd Kaufman, makes a cameo in it.
Oh yeah, you have some
So
networking skills, boy.
yeah, so I was like bugging. I'd met Lloyd over here once again at Monster Fest and done his masterclass and that. So that's my filmmaking school there, the Troma. Hang on, there it is. I did the Troma School of Making Films in one day. Anyway, to get Lloyd to be in the film, I bugged him for 2 years because he's a busy man and stuff. And I've got no money, by the way, to pay him to be a cameo on my film. So they sort of, what are you going to do for us? So what I did do, and there's about 3 different little Easter eggs in the film featuring some of like Lloyd's Toxic Avenger stuff in there, and on top of the video player in it, there's it's a product placement basically to get Lloyd in there. That will,
Mhm.
to entice Lloyd to be in my film because is a champion of underground independent cinema anyway. But as like Squeeze Play was one of the first films that he ever made, and I had the VHS of that on there. There's a Toxic Avenger poster on it. The one that's behind me is on a
Mhm.
door in the film, and one of the little girls, one of the little gang girls that are in it. He's wearing a "I Love the Monster" T-shirt. That's fan. I don't know if that's fan service, but that's sort of is that what the question is? But
I think
there was
does
no
the money
good.
does the money source affect the final product? So basically,
Okay, right.
does the movie change? I suppose what he's trying to say is right. You have like you said you had a 20 grand goal,
Yes, yeah.
but you got 24 grand. So with that 24, was that able to make improvements? Did the film change because of
Oh, the
extra
movie
money?
costs a lot more. The movie costs more than that.
Yeah, but I think
And
I'm
friends,
trying. I think I'm
so
trying to go on.
the good thing is about doing it in a Kickstarter campaign and raising money for myself, investors or so-called producers in there. I had complete creative control over my product. So whatever I wanted it to be, that's what it was. But the fact that I've been running, and I'm not sure if this is fan service, but the fact that I've been running my Trashorama Film Festival for the last 26 years, looking for submissions right now too, please. Find it on Film Freeway. People have come to expect a certain sort of quality or lowbrow quality in my work. So I guess they put money into my Kickstarter. Some people because wow, we love Trashorama, we love the Trashorama Film Festival. If it's going to be a feature length movie just like that, then we're going to put
Mhm.
money into it. So, but that is what I do, and that's the way I think. So I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do, but make a filthy, bad taste, probably politically incorrect, gory splatterfest of a film. I wish I had more money because so I could put more blood on the screen, but I could. I think I did it right for the budget I had. Is
Yeah, and
that
obviously
answer the
every
question?
extra bit that gets collected in, it's all into the movie, and it's all about just amping it up
It's
and
it's about
polishing
solving
things.
problems. Yeah, solving problems and going. How can I do? I haven't got money to make a helicopter fly into a billboard and blow up and stuff, but I did it by using a miniature at a aviation museum. Not a miniature, a real helicopter at an aviation museum, having the actor in that, and then we built a miniature set with miniature helicopters and stuff. And we got them flying around in front of, and I've got a big giant explosive cars blowing up and helicopters blowing up with the actor. And you'll believe you're really there. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a bit Thunderbirdsy, but you just got to solve these problems by just how am I going to do this? And I
Yep.
do love practical effects.
Just another flip. We're getting everybody in tonight. 7th Street
I
Productions.
don't
There's
over the
somebody you
joint.
should tie up with. I've put in I've put the links in the description. So all of Dick's links that he sent, and if there's anything else, sure, we can do it. But I've said the 7th Street before. Send us another link and by email, and happily we planned one of his movies. Myself and Cameron, my good buddy and co-host, we do. In fact, we have another show on tomorrow. At the end of the month, we do like a wrap up in news and pick a movie and just
Yeah, sure.
we
Wicked.
we just review it as we go, what we find, and half the times we're at loggerheads because we're like opposite ends of the spectrum. It's so fun.
Yeah,
So I'll
yeah,
love a
yeah.
movie, I'll hate it, and vice versa, and just just all about having fun. But it's never meant that with meanness. The only time I get annoyed is if somebody, like especially this Hollywood culture of abuse the fan and call the fan names. If you, as long as you don't do that to me, then I'm good.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But anything like reviewing a movie, it's just fun. Like there's yesterday a
yeah,
review.
yeah. Well, everyone's got a different opinion anyway.
There's yesterday I reviewed Clownado and absolutely loved it because it was just daft as hell. But
What
I've had
movie?
Clownado.
I haven't seen it, so.
Oh, it just it's a rip off of Sharknado but with clowns. And
Oh,
it's
right,
just
okay, right. Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, shit, I like. Oh, okay. No, you've got me already.
it's just madness, and I loved it, and it's just daft. But when a movie's trying to take itself seriously, then I kind of switch gears, and then that's where I
Yeah,
kind of
right.
get a bit
If
more
that movie's
critical.
serious, yeah.
Also, I've reviewed comedies where people aren't being funny. They put it across as a
Yeah, right.
comedy, and nobody's given me that vibe. Like I've seen your trailers, and I get the sense of fun.
I've got to send
And
you the movie, man. Sorry, I've just done 4 weeks of
no
a
here,
Fringe
life gets
festival,
in the
so
way.
I would have sent you the movie to check out. I will after this anyway.
But
So
we will do a review then. When you do that, I'll schedule
sure,
do a
man.
separate review of the
My
movie.
film is apparently funny, so yeah. But lucky I intended it to be, so that's a good,
Yeah, I
Sometimes
always I
people's
always go
movies are
with the
funny
premise.
unintentionally.
Um, I understand budgetary constraints, especially independent
Yeah.
movies. When the big studios with billions get it wrong, how the hell can you expect somebody who's just trying to put a movie together to get it, perfect? So there's a lot of forgiveness. I go all about is the heart there? That's what I'm looking for with a movie.
Yeah, me
Can
too.
I feel the intention? Um, and there's nothing worse than if I feel like it's all the wooden planks just dialing it in, just doing it for the sake of it. That's where I kind of switch off a bit. I'm not
Well,
getting
Colin,
the
what I'm with Hollywood, I think it's just a lot of the time it's just a business and they just want to make money. Whereas someone like smaller independent uh, outlaw filmmakers were, just using every bit of money we've got, doing our part-time jobs, begging our friends for money
Mhm.
on Kickstarter campaigns. You've got to be obsessed, and you are obsessed to make your film. You want to get it done. A lot of people don't get them finished.
It's actually Clive
And
Barker said that years ago.
oh, right, okay.
When you're
Well,
creating, you
it's
have to be
true.
obsessed. If you don't have that obsession, then you're going to always fall short.
There was plenty of times for me to give up, and my friends. That's not just me. My cameraman, Hugh Freitag, who stuck with me, filming it for years. Tommy Darwin, uh, the lead actor, he stuck with me for
Mhm.
like all them years to make this film, and we did it. So, and I hope you enjoy the film. Well, it's done okay in Australia anyway. Whether it translates overseas, it's yet to be seen. I am putting in the festivals out there. We'll
That's
see. I don't know. It's
that's
very
a major
Australian.
issue, even with mainstream studios, is distribution.
Yeah.
Even mainstream stuff. Me trying to get that, and I've had some people as well from CTVs as well on here as well. Uh, you guys from New Zealand who contribute to the show,
So like you're
and
cutting out. Yeah.
oh right, oh dear, technical
No?
difficulties already. I'm saying of people from all over the world that contribute to this show. A few from New Zealand, and the
Oh
difference
yeah.
between getting something released, even mainstream, and like me getting to see a movie, them getting to see the
Yeah.
movie, and somebody in America getting to see a movie is completely different. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, man. I'm only just starting to just trying to work it all out. It's quite mind-boggling, and yeah. So I've made the film. I've got the film. It's played. Monster Fest took it around Australia.
Mhm.
They enjoyed it so much they gave it the best picture film. I think that's sort of also an encouragement film because they've been there, like they do like it, and they laugh their tits off and they got it. So I think that so that, and then I got best audience award at my local city I live at, Adelaide or town, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
village. Um, So it's done all right in Australia, even though there's no money in that. I still got to do a bar job or nothing like that. But the movie has paid for itself with box office returns, at least. Where the hell was I
That's something
going?
I've asked before. Film festivals, they're great for the niche audience, they're great for producers, but for the general public, it's not necessarily the best way to get the movie out there.
Yeah,
My-
in Australia, I had my own captured audience, I
Mhm.
guess, with my because I've been running this short film program for like quarter of a
However, when you
century.
make something, you don't want to just limit yourself to your friends and neighbors. Like
Exactly, I want to get it
you
out
want someone
there.
like me getting my grubby mitts on it and
Exactly, Colin. And as I
chatting
said,
about,
I've gone.
you know me, talking
I
about it
don't
on
know
the show.
I don't know how the hell I found out about Horrorific podcast, but I guess I'm always, possibly down on Facebook or something. I'm always just on looking at all horror stuff. That's what I love horror. So it would have been just that's how we would have I would have found you. I'd
Yeah, well,
say
funny
to answer your
enough,
first question.
that was kind of the first question on the official
We've
question
started.
list. Yeah, let's start the interview. Eh? I warned you at the start. I'd just be like, flipping, just it's the
I'm
best way.
awake now. Anyway.
That's it. The caffeine's kicked in. You haven't quite had the reach
Yeah,
for the Red
man.
Bull yet.
Yeah.
But when did you first get into horror, and how did that end up leading you down the journey to like get behind the camera? How did that journey sort of happen?
Okay. Well, I since I was a little kid, I was always reading the horror comics. I had a really good secondhand comic store near me when I was a kid, and I could get all the secondhand. I could get the secondhand Famous Monsters of Filmland
Hmm.
um, magazine. I lived in a little country town which only had two stations, so I was reading about all these horror movies that I couldn't even really see. And by the time you did see them on television, they were usually just not as good as what you thought they were going to be. But your imagination would be going, wow, looking at these pictures and reading about these things. And also horror comics. I used to love horror comics, like eerie and creepy, and even the Tales of the Crypt and stuff like
Hmm.
Vampirella, all them things that I could get from this. It was a fantastic comic store. So that's, I guess, where my that's where I got into it. Also, I was very lucky in the 1980s. I had a drive-in cinema near where I lived with my parents, and I lived in Queensland, so it's very
Hmm.
tropical. So I discovered there was a hole in the fence. So I used to be able to, during the 80s, I used to go in there and be able to sneak into the drive-in through the hole in the fence and go up and sit on. And back then, the drive-in, they had speakers. You just turn the thing on. So I could
Hmm.
sit there. And I went and seen John Carpenter's The Thing, like nearly me and my friend Ian, nearly every night that week on the drive-in cinema, and the
Yeah.
Halloween movies and stuff like that. So I got my education seeing films that I shouldn't have been allowed to see, but also on a big screen. So that fueled me and fueled me. I did screen and television at high school, which I've always been interested in filmmaking. We never had a camera or anything like that when I was a kid, but I used to draw monsters all the time, and I did all right with creative writing at school, so I was always writing horror stuff. Um, and when I did do in 11 and 12, one of the subjects was screen and television, which is
Hmm.
piss weak film school. At high school, my crummy little high school, but we did get to make some little films that year, and I used to and sometimes you were allowed to show movies, so I used to bring horror movies. I took Class of '84 to school, and my teacher was fucking horrified because I was a little punk rocker, and she was this old hippie, and I think she thought that you know what happens in Class of '84. It's the punk rockers trying to kill the teacher and all sorts, and I think she took offence to that. And I was only like, "This is just a great movie. I just wanted to show them a great movie." I did it.
Teachers,
Now I think back and go, "Oh my god."
friggin' teachers are the worst. I really do not have time for teachers. They have killed so many dreams of people.
Well, this one got in contact with me after years and years and
Hmm.
years through Facebook, whatever, and she ended up going and seeing my film in Brisbane, Queensland, and she had a laugh. So I was really happy, and it was also sort of revenge.
Oh, there
So
you go. I got in trouble for bringing critters in. Remember that? When that first came
creditors.
out, critters, when that
Oh my
first came out,
god.
I brought it into school, and I was all pleased with myself. And yeah,
Oh god, man.
good
Well,
call.
that's they would have never have handled Class of '84. That's for
Also,
sure.
we really uptight. I come from an uptight part of the world in the UK. We're just super. Everyone's got like a rod up their arse, and
Well,
we
mate, I'm from on the t-shirts and on the poster. It's got "Banned in Queensland" on there. Now, back in the 80s, and that's why my movies are splatterpunk video nasty. Back in the 80s, they used to ban movies banned in Queensland. You'd get this. It's like a badge of honor on the
yeah,
video
video.
cover.
Yep.
So that's
Um,
Ribspreader, banned in Queensland. And then it's also because my mum lives there and she's not allowed to watch the film. But the other thing was, um, you asked me when I first started. So I did the film and television thing at school, and that was sort of over. I didn't really make any horror stuff then, even though I was into it. I ended up getting a video camera years and years later. One of my dodgy mates ended up coming rocking up around my doorstep one day with a VHS video camera back in the early 90s and said, "Get, do you want to buy this?" And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Where'd that come from?" And it came from a shop. So I was like, "Oh, really?
that fell off
Okay,
the
well, I
back of a
guess so."
lorry, as they say.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
And me and my other friend went halves on it because it wasn't from someone's house and everything, and I made my first 40-minute punk rock zombie movie, over that year on weekends with my friends, and that's on YouTube. It's called Blue Dog. I don't really recommend it, but so that I made that and screened it at the local pub with some punk rock bands playing afterwards. I think the Bloodsucking Freaks was one of the bands, and the Ghouls was the other band. So those sort of horror punk bands. And once I did that, and I'd been mucking around, and I was joined up with the local community radio television station thing. So I was doing that around about the same time and meeting people and networking. And then I just started making. So then yeah, so then I saw this thing on television called the Great. What's it called? A Channel Arena, Foxtel Graveyard Shifty Films competition. Make a short film, horror film, and the winner gets to go over to America and meet Roger Corman.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I made this movie called The Beast of Bomb Beach. It didn't win. I didn't even think they're going to show the frigging thing, but it nearly won so much that they made a second prize. I didn't win first prize anyway. It wouldn't have mattered because I didn't have any money. Hole in my ass and my jeans, I was broke. I didn't have a passport. What's the point of going over to America to meet Roger Corman for like 2 minutes? Some rich kid from Sydney won it. He'd already been to like LA 3 times or something. This is typical. But I came second, and they gave me $1,000, which this was no second prize.
Mhm.
And then I went and upgraded and bought a Video 8 camera and threw on a keg party for everyone that was involved. And then that was it. And around that time, I was like, oh, and I'd been started going to lots of, because I was getting tied up in the film community, going
Mhm.
to lots of like film programs and always going, there's always one good movie, like, usually one good movie. Someone's made a horror movie in their backyard, or there's one horror movie or a science fiction one or a cheesy schlock one. All the rest is sort of shit. Why don't we have just a short film program where it's all good movies, all good schlock movies or horror movies and everything, and then I can also make a short movie every year and it gives me an excuse, and I've got somewhere to show it. So so Trashorama was invented,
That's what I was.
and
I was coming up next because that's. There's one thing making movies. There's one thing submitting the festivals, but something else completely different. To start your own festival,
just to
and
show your own
with
movies, yeah.
yeah, but then you gotta, you gotta deal with people. You gotta deal with submissions. You maybe have to reject people. You have to deal with all that kind of stuff. All the politics that comes with it and the work, and
It's
to
very,
start.
very hard. It's very frustrating. Like, I've never had to sit through so many long. Not, and I'm not saying this about every movie I watch either, by the way. But to get like an hour of enjoyment, I've never had to sit through in my life. Well, yeah, I still would have done it. So many movies that just aren't my. What in the hell did you read the friggin' guideline? What we want in this thing? I don't want give a fuck about your wedding video or whatever the hell. That's a bit of an exaggeration, sort of. But
Oh, trust me,
so
I get
many
it because
bad, so many bad movies to get a good film program.
we
Um,
feature independent authors in this channel.
yeah,
We do narrated fiction. Uh, And I remember we started out, like, people kind of got the gist of it now, but see the mad stuff that you get sent, or people totally not getting what we're about, and just to get that core group of contributors, so you could try
Yeah.
and push them forward. Oh, flipping, your head's just going. Da-dum, 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 da-dum.
Yeah, it's a very long. So like 26 years I've been doing Trashorama now, and at first I used to just go and source my films,
Mhm.
but I hooked up with my other friend who's from Brisbane. He was running from Trash. Andrew Leovold, who's another filmmaker. He used to run Trash Video, and he was doing one called Eat My Schlock. So we used to swap movies.
Mhm.
So that made it easier for to build our program. But then he stopped doing it after about 3 years. Then he went off to start making films, and but I kept on going. But now, like you can enter the films through Film Freeway. But what I just a lot of people seem to not be able to make a movie under 10 minutes now, which is sort of a bit frustrating. So
I'll need to hook you
it
up
can be
with.
hard. Even though the 10-minute, 11, 12-minute movie can be fantastic,
Mhm.
they're not all. There's a
I'll need to
lot
hook
that
you
are
up with
just
Jason Pitts. He's been on the
sure. Yeah,
show, and he does loads of short movies.
excellent.
Aquastar Films. Actually, they're coming on next week.
Oh, wicked.
The second time
Excellent.
I've been on the show.
Well, I've seen the video list down the side as well. I can check that out.
Yeah.
I,
Jason.
I've been doing the Fringe Festival, which is the second biggest Fringe festival in the world, apart from the one over in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
So
I used to
that's
live in
happened here the
Edinburgh.
last month. Yeah.
Lived in Edinburgh the mid 2000s. God, the Fringe just takes over. See,
Well, that's what I've been
August,
doing the
September
last
time.
month.
Yeah,
I've just landed. So
that's right. Because
yeah,
we were when we started talking, you were saying you have to do this. And I was like, well, there's no point pushing to get you on if your head's not in the game.
yeah. I
Because
was working from 10:30 at night to 5 a.m. in the morning. So like, and then you've got to wind down. So like, I wasn't getting to sleep till about 7 in the morning. So just to do, and then maybe I'd have a couple of drinks to get to start. It
yeah,
worked
but
out
we
for the
did it
best.
when
Let's just
when
say
the
that.
Edinburgh tattoo happens. When I was in the army, flipping that thing just took over, and yeah, if you weren't actually on the parade, you were in the background, you were doing something, and then the bar opened at midnight, and you just it was really
Well,
not
I was
too
the midnight shift.
yeah, and you're just you end up there, and then you're flipping eyes are like piss holes in the snow
Well,
for like
yeah, that's
4 weeks,
exactly right, man.
and you just
People do ask me at the bar, so Dick, how's your film going? I'm still here. I'm still still working behind the bar, and I will be
um
for a while.
no, obviously because you bring it up because a lot of people don't realize that you still have to earn a living. Um, Even if you've got a
Yeah,
creative mind, you have to face the realities of you. You may never be successful, as in
no,
make a
yeah,
full
I
time
don't think I'm ever
wage
gonna.
out of it.
I
Not everyone's going to be a
Yeah,
superstar. Everyone looks at the tip, the apex of the pyramid, thinking
I
that's
don't want to
it.
be doing corporate videos either. You could be a filmmaker and make money out of it, but if you want to, like some people go off, a lot of people go off and seem to make corporate videos and all that. Fuck that shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can tell.
interested in
Actually,
that at all.
you can tell straight away someone who isn't a horror fan or a horror creator, and have this notion that making a horror movie is the easy way to get noticed, and then they're only doing it till they can make real movies, and those ones stick out a mile.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, 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 yeah.
the ones are pretentious as hell. Nobody gives a shit.
Predictable. They're just copying some other shit usually, and
Yeah,
yeah.
just there's no feeling behind it, and they might get a wee bit of better production, but they're not. They don't care.
Yeah, yeah, that generally makes me sick. Here we go. You've got me started. Yeah, they generally have lots of money behind them and everything, and yeah, they get it's very hard to like. I've sent my movie into and script and all the info to all the big magazines. Not even an answer, mate. So
Fucking horror magazines
I
are
don't know. I'm just like,
awful lately.
oh, I'm starting. Do you have to buy a review in these magazines, or do you have to buy editorial support? I think you might have to.
You do.
Actually, I don't.
It's
That's
well
something I
known.
learned.
It's the access media, and the access. I mean, a lot of the people in the magazines are interns, and they want to get noticed by the big stars. And they're only doing it. That's why you get so much shite now in horror, because people are getting there till they get the real gig. It's the same as the movie makers, and
Yeah.
a lot of these magazines is you do pay for your slot, or somebody nepotism, somebody knows somebody and
Oh,
gets
if you
you
know
in.
somebody, I know that. Yeah, if you know somebody. So if
Uh,
anybody's watching out there and wants to check out
oh, they
Ribspreader,
won't be watching this
have a look at the
channel. Well,
teaser.
friggin' I make
Yeah,
it clear how much I can't stand them. So those
all
sort
the
of
best
people
will be
won't be
watching.
watching here. I've made my feelings
Oh,
clear on those sort of arseholes, and I just have no time for
yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
so fake. And
Well, anyway, I just want people to see my film really and enjoy, and hopefully they'll enjoy it. I know that I'm not going to make a living out of it. What I want to do is people to see it. Go. If this is your thing, I'm going to make it. I've already been starting. I've got a couple of more ideas for some more films, and then hopefully, I can get a bit. I can put more of a bigger budget in it, and better still, maybe I can pay my fucking cameraman and the people that and some and the actors and everyone who puts. They built miniature sets in my movie, and Duran
that's no
Grieg.
small thing. A lot of places don't even do
What
that.
did you see? The miniature sets is not that miniature. It's like a car park as big as this room that I'm in, and the billboard was like as big as a doorway, and the helicopter was about bigger than this screen, and the
Mhm.
cars, and we blew it all up and shit. It's like it's no small thing. Durand Grieg, who built the miniature set, and he toiled over it in the miniature cars. He went off, and he's just been finished working on Furiosa, Mad Max,
Mhm.
since this. So I don't know whether it helped him get in there, setting photos of what he done. I hope it had some small part, but the guy was a
Well,
talented genius anyway.
that shows talent though. It's easy to
Oh,
do
it's
stuff
definitely
when you've got a
talented, I think.
huge budget, right? When you've got money behind you to throw around, you can buy all the expensive kit. But when you've got nothing,
I had some really talented friends who did this stuff for nothing, just that they wanted to see this. They read the script and then they went, "What? This sounds fucking insane. We've got to see this movie." And then they
well,
all took, and they did it all for free. Of course, I paid for materials and stuff,
mhm.
and chucked on some beer when I could, and fed everyone. You must feed your cast and crew. Okay, just that was something that was always very important on the set that I put a lot of effort into. And I don't mean you have to have a chef on set or anything. I mean, like, just go down to bloody Woolworths or whatever and make sure you've got a friend,
Just
whether it's
get
just
it in the
also
oven, get it in the
pizzas,
grill.
sandwiches. Yeah,
Yep.
just got to make sure there's food on there and refreshments, maybe the odd can of energy drink, water, refreshments, some soft drinks, sugar rushes, everything. Coffee was important, very, very important on the set. So you've got to do that. So and you'll have a happier crew and a cast and crew for sure.
I think it's more
Um,
the. Would you agree? It's the showing the intent that right. I care about you guys and I appreciate you helping
I
me
totally
make
do.
this.
Yes.
It seems everyone come on to here. I appreciate all you guys that come on the show and help this podcast and give me a shout out and get the word out there. And I do what I can to obviously pay
Cheers,
that
Colin.
back
Yes.
and do it.
It's great.
Um, it's just simple, basic humanity, which I think we've lost. There's especially in the entertainment industry, there seems to be a disdain
I
for
think
the
it is in
customer,
Hollywood, and
and it's
I'd
like,
say it.
what are you playing at?
No one
And
got
that's
shot
why
at.
I tell
Like,
anybody, flipping get on a Kickstarter, support a local movie, support a crowdfund an independent project. For the sake of a few quid that you would half of what you would spend going to bloody cinema anyway to see freaking the latest schlock it's pumped down the sewer pipe.
treat
Flipping,
you've got to treat everyone good. You got to care about the safety. Safety is very, very, very important on a set. Like, is that on the trailer that maybe that someone's on fire running down the street?
yeah, yeah,
Is that
yeah,
on the?
that is, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's real, man.
Um,
That's not video effects. We set someone on fire and sent them off down the street. So we had professionals working on that, but like we practiced that shot, practiced
yeah,
it,
there's no messing
and then we
about.
did it one take only because that's all I could afford, and we did that. But that safety is paramount, and there's a head explosion in my movie too, which is not on the teaser trailer, but we did that old school style too. I can't really divulge how we do that, but let's just say it all ended a lot better than that other movie that didn't end so well recently. What's his name from 30 Rock? That movie. Um, was it called Rust or something? The movie?
Can't
The
remember.
cowboy movie. Ah,
Oh,
someone got
flipping!
shot.
I'm flipping bobbing. I was about
Someone
to
got
say,
shot. All
yeah.
right. I
Oh,
didn't.
that.
I was trying to be
Oh
not give.
God,
I don't
that
know. I don't know
friggin'
what I was talking
arsehole.
about anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I know exactly.
Anyway,
God,
safety is
that's.
paramount on a set, and that is, and do that and respect your cast and crew. Be good. I didn't have any divas or wankers on my film set anyway, so lucky.
You can't afford to.
No, no time
You,
wasters. See you later.
yeah. It's like get the hell.
And even
Same with
like
this.
I had like there's like I got about 100 extras in my film. Like when you watch it, you'll see like
Mhm.
and all of them you don't treat them like cattle or anything. You treat them all VIP important actor extra people. So you've just got to. That's just one thing that I'll say about keeping people why I had people stay with me for so long and see this through right to the end. Um, is that you treat people good and well and respect them and feed them. Yeah.
Yep, that's reputation's everything at the end of the day. You get a
Everyone
bad
seems
rep
to
for
enjoy the film.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that comes across when you watch something and you know there's been a good vibe behind it and there's been good film. People want to dig in and do that bit extra. When something's just being dialed in and nobody cares, you can see it on screen and it's
Yeah.
sad.
Oh, I think
It's
word travels around. Like some of my friends come in and they just know me from playing in bands and stuff, and they're like, "Oh shit! Oh well, man, you're sort of pretty professional." They didn't expect me to like, oh no, yeah, well, it's me making a movie, mate. It's not like
that
me
was a question.
jumping off speakers on stage.
Do you not make music videos?
I'm going to be making one a bit later in the yeah. I'm talking about making one now with a local band called Julia Seizure and the Tremor Dolls. It's a film clip. I like seriously the last few years I haven't had chance to. I've just been absorbed with the film,
Oh, absolutely. But
so
just
that is
the
done
whole
now, and
the whole
now I
aesthetics, the
can
whole
do other
vibe.
things.
I'm just seeing music video,
Yeah, I'm going to go into the writing process. So
mhm.
now I can, all right, I can actually, I'm going to have some fun. I might make a short movie by the end of the year. I've definitely got some friends who want me to, because I've been involved with playing in bands for like, as long as I've been making these films and stuff. So now my friends are like asking me, oh, can you make a film clip for us? And especially if they got some kind of horror edge to it
Mhm.
or some kind of sick and twisted, then they're asking me and they're going, oh, we'll pay you. I'm going, okay. So
Well, there
now
you
I'm
go.
like, I
That's
can
a
relax. I'm going to do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
and I'm not going to ask much. It'll be mates rates. I think you might want to pay the editor and stuff like that. I'll just write and direct them. I think. I
yeah, but
can
then
film
there's
them.
another
Yeah.
avenue to create something, help somebody else out, get
Yeah.
the get the brand built, and
Keep the rust out of my system as well
yeah,
while I'm writing. So yeah, because I don't
no,
want to
because
just
that
sit
just
around.
screamed to me when I saw the trailer. I've seen some of your videos. It's just like you should be making punk rock music videos. I'm sure bands will be
Excellent. Well, that's
once you get a
apparently what's going to.
reputation, you'll need your bloody passport because there's bands absolutely
I can get a passport now. That I was talking about
oh yeah. But
before.
I'm
Yeah.
just throwing out. I'm just being flippant. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying that
I
once you
do
get
want to come over. Yeah, I do want to come over to Europe, and do a bit of a tour around. And even if I'm just playing the movie in pubs, I don't care. But something like that needs to happen anyway. I'm trying to get it into some festivals over there. And I've got Trasharama, my short film program. I can do a best of 25 years of
Mhm.
that as well. So I've got things to travel around. I can't just go somewhere and have a holiday. I've got to be doing
Yeah, there has
something
to be a
as well.
purpose to do it because it's boring just going around and
So hopefully,
I've never been a good tourist. I have to go to an event or friends or have a reason to go somewhere,
yeah,
and
yeah, exactly,
it's
and it's a good way to meet other people as well, and other like-minded people. If you're putting something on, like I'm putting on, a short film program with my fucked up movies, I'm going to meet these other
Mhm.
people who are interested in that sort of stuff, and then maybe
yeah.
meet other
A couple
filmmakers
of
and
weeks ago,
just at least.
I live just near the outskirts of London, so I pop in every so often, for work and that, and uh, there's a festival, Lovecraftian festival on
Ah,
last month,
wicked.
and there's just a wee
Oh yeah, I
small
think I read
pub.
about that.
The Drayton Arms Theatre, and it's a pub, but they've got a theatre upstairs, and it holds about 40 people at most.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And the
Fantastic.
and the stuff they pull out of there, I've seen it, and I'm like blown away, going, yeah, that's so sort of weird, quirky venues that foster the greatest creativity and networking opportunities. And obviously reach out, and if I can put feelers out around here,
Well, yeah.
aside, more than happy to. Definitely a place. I think they have a screen anyway. But if it's part of
Yeah,
some,
it's like that. That's what I have been doing for the last. Either I've been playing it at giant cinemas, packed to 150 people, or a little pub we've stuck a sheet up and a video projector connected
Mhm.
to that was even video players. I've been doing it since I had VHS tapes. I used to travel around the country on a bus, a Greyhound bus, with a bag full of like VHS tapes, and I used to insert each movie in. But I talk in between each movie. I'd get anecdotes about of the films, and I'd be up there introducing. I sort of miss them days in a way because now it's all just one big program. But it plays at big cinema complex. Not well, 150 people. That's big for me anyway. I think,
Mhm.
or little pub, seedy bars or whatever, just wherever you can play it. And to 10
Well,
people, I don't care.
my buddy Cameron, he absolutely adores punk music, and he's got connection in the scene. So if you ever head in America direction, the West Coast, definitely get him.
America.
Yeah, if you're heading
Yeah.
there,
Okay.
like I
Yeah.
said, Cameron, my co-host.
If I get there.
Yeah, there's another avenue. He's got people in cinemas and stuff that you can rent out. And it's good enough. Actually, I'll talk to him tomorrow about
Fantastic.
that when we're doing our
Do it
monthly
yourself.
roundup.
Is make your own waves and do it yourself. Is basic. I did that with the Trashorama Film Festival to screen my short movies, and now I'm got the full length movie. So I didn't have to actually make my own film festival, but I was connected to Monster Fest, so they played it, and I had connections with the Adelaide Film Festival here, so
Mhm.
they played it, and that was because they played the making of movie 2 years earlier. And Matt Kesting, who runs the Adelaide Film Festival, used to work behind the candy bar at the Mercury Cinema for about 5 years when I was doing Trashorama there, and he's a horror trash genre fan. And I used to hang out at the candy bars and drink beer and talk horror movies and movies of him while I was playing Trashorama. And now he is the coordinator of the Adelaide Film Festival. So with and by the way, that making of movie that was funded by Screen Australia.
Mhm.
Yet my film wasn't funded. So with them connections, that's how come I got my film played at the Adelaide Film Festival. So once again, it's who you know. I don't know where I went complete out of tangent, back in tangent.
I don't know.
I don't know what I'm talking
That's what we're
about.
talking about. How do you get people bums and seats, people to actually see your movie, because it's already having an idea, it's already getting it funded. But
Ah,
the thing with the film festivals as well is that they kind of disappear. It's only for a certain crowd. You need to kind of hold random events and just where you can get small little pockets of people and word of mouth. You can't pay for that.
look, yeah, that's it. Well, that's why it was always part of my plan, like to run my own film festival.
Mm-hmm.
I started it locally, short film program. I started playing it locally at in Adelaide at pubs with bands playing afterwards, and then I started a tour around the country, booking venues. I think it was before the internet. Somehow I did it. I can't remember how I booked them. There must have been some internet. I don't know. I can't remember how I booked them venues now. Maybe it was word of mouth. I think probably talking to people and getting people to contact local venues. Oh, you can play it at this club and stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to
And
work.
so I've been building up my network through the film
Mhm.
festival, and then it plays at Monster Fest, which is a Australia-wide national horror genre film festival, which plays feature movies and everything. So I've been with them for about 10 years now, I think. So with all that, I've been building up my network. So then by the time I made Ribspreader, and people have been following the film for about the last 5 years. So, or waiting for it
Mhm.
through social media and stuff, and me talking about it. So I automatically had a crowd ready for this film in Australia, at least,
Yeah, but that's a
when it
brilliant
came out.
start. That's
Yeah, I'm very
there's
happy with that, and better than a
there's
lot of people.
people there's filmmakers would die for that.
And
And
you've just
that's
got to start early.
yeah, but I wouldn't say I was luck, because already listening to you, you put a lot of graft in. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. You don't build that sort of loyal following just by being lucky. You have to put the work in. You
Uh,
have to actually
and I
meet
put a lot of
people.
integrity. I stand by what I play at Trashorama too. It
Hmm.
is the most sick and twisted bad taste horror short film program in Australia, from films from all over the world. So if any of you weirdos out there making the short films, please put them in. And hey, if you're listening to this program, send me an email or get in contact with me. Maybe I'll give you a waiver just to see your film. I'm not through all that. So there you go.
That's what it's all about.
I will give you a waiver.
I just see we've got not just we talk about everything horror because it all comes together. We have writers that come on the show, and even if we come on just to review a movie together, that's what I'm trying to get people, get them to understand. Getting on camera, getting people to know you. You don't know who you're going to connect with. You don't know what project's going to come out. I've always said through this channel, I would love to see some project, not necessarily involving me, but just through 2 or 3 individuals meeting through this channel. And if I hear a year down the line that something's come from it, I've done my work.
Fantastic,
man.
Exactly.
I need to do nothing else. That would have me buzzing like no end. Because everyone's very...
Well, something's already come out of this. Here I am talking to you, which is great, and I'm going to show you my film. So something good has already come out of this. I'm happy. One person at least is going to see the film.
And the fact that we're having just even having a bit of a laugh and a chat and getting to know someone, that's So never mind anybody watching. I just do just the fucking riff. You know what I mean? That's half the fun of this channel, just the riffing things and go off on tangents and just.
You say you have a lot of writers on the show. Tip my hat to the writers too, because writing the film, it was a very hard. It's hard writing. It's good when you're on a roll and you're roll, but I don't like some of these like.
I'm trying to transcribe.
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's written in pencil because when I was writing in pen, you have to like be at a certain angle. So I start writing.
Yeah, I scroll mine down first. I can't.
Now I can't bloody read the stuff when I'm typing it up to get my first draft, and I've about 200 pages there.
Well, if you're anything like me, maybe you're writing all these brilliant ideas when you're pissed out of your brain on red wine and that. But yeah, then you got to read it the next morning to transcribe it, and it's like, what the hell was I was writing?
It's fun, but yeah. Well, you're obviously you're in our little group, and you kind of know everybody, and I keep trying to encourage people, step up. Don't be afraid to give a bit of yourself out to the world. How important is that to actually? It's already having the great ideas, it's already putting stuff together, but if you're not prepared to just step up and give a bit of your personality,
it's blood, sweat, and tears to make a feature movie if you're going to make something that's exciting, I think. Anyway,
but do you think people forget about the follow-up?
The follow-up is in what? Getting people to see it.
Yeah, and just talking about it, or just not even always being on to plug your movie, but just to let people actually know you. What's your opinion on this? And I don't mean fucking politics. I hate politics, and I'm sick.
Yeah, I don't want to talk politics or religion or anything. Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is like horror. Okay, talk about the comics. You're talking about like Tales from the Crypt and that and how you get started and the fact that you were limited. That's an interesting story, and that lets people know you. But I'm trying to convince a lot of creators to do this and come on and talk because that's worth its weight in gold. Do you agree?
I think if you really, like what people are talking about it.
Yeah, just not even just talking about it, just talking about horror, getting a bit of the personality. Everyone thinks they can just hide behind the keyboard and just go buy my thing. And
it's a lonely process writing your film, unless you're collaborating with someone. I don't know if I can do that or haven't met that person, but I did have a flatmate who would just sit there and get off our tits out in the backyard, and he'd go, oh yeah, we'd oh, that's a good idea, and we'd write them down. But that is, and I thanked him in the credits, but that's not writing the movie. That's just giving you some good ideas. Good ideas down the pub, and you go, oh, but can I put that? And they go, yeah, mate, and then they'll be very happy when they see that on the screen. But it's a very lonely process writing, man. It was very, very hard, as I said, when because it did take. Okay, so it was about a year of me writing the film, getting it, the story right, and the characters, and I was very detailed, and getting the dialogue the way I wanted it. And then I thought I had to get a script editor in, because I thought I'll just try and do this as professionally as I can. And I got John Howard, his name is. and he came and I asked him because I did a really good screenwriting course with him a few years earlier, but he came in and all he really did was re-taught me grammar.
Mhm.
He liked what I was writing anyway, for better or worse. But yeah, it's a hard process writing. But yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, it's
No, just that whole giving a bit of
can be
yourself, you know,
joyful, but
breaking it up
it's
in
very
between, not
lonely.
just you're writing, you disappear into the abyss, you come out the end, you've got something, but you haven't, like, I'm not saying yourself because you've obviously done a lot of work with the networking and you're not afraid to put yourself
Yes,
out there. But what would you say to people who are hesitant to do that?
put themselves out there.
Yeah, there's people that will not go on podcasts. There's
Phew.
people that won't go on camera. There's people that
No,
think,
I understand that. I totally understand that. Look, I don't like going to networking things and shit like that. I just sit
oh, I
there and
hate
it's like,
that. Yeah,
you know, there better be some free drinks there. I
I'm
can't really
terrible at
go there
self
and talk to
promotion.
people. I can sit here and talk to you now. That doesn't seem to be too hard, or doing an interview, or getting up on stage with a band or something, or getting up and hosting my film program. But
Mhm.
just going out there and networking with people, that can be very, very, very hard. I don't know what to just give it a crack. Go out, give it a crack, or take a
Yeah.
friend with you. Maybe that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Take a wing person with you, and then you've got someone to talk to, and then you never know. I have some really loud friends that I have taken, lady friends that I have taken
Mhm.
to some of these events, and maybe I might be a bit shy to talk to them, but they're like, and get your crazy mate. They'll go meet everyone and bring them over to you. So that's happened to me a few times.
That's
And
here.
met some
That's a good
people
thing.
because I'm not really someone who goes to these things, and I'm sort of sitting there in the back, sort of going, oh, I hope someone talks. But I am known around town, so I'm lucky in my hometown, but and because I'm doing Trasharama and that, so I might have that advantage. But I have been doing that for a long time. But I think just go there, give it a crack, get out there, and take your loud, attractive, charismatic friend along. Maybe they'll go out and then they can get them to you, and then you can tell them all about your crazy, and then yeah, then you can tell them all about your crazy movie, or whoever. But just
Yeah,
tell
it's
people,
just trying
just
to get
do it.
people to, it's just trying to people to get out of their comfort zone, and this is an aspect of thing, and it doesn't have to be like we have not sat here and you're going buy my stuff, buy my stuff. We're having a conversation, and that's all people
Yeah,
need to do.
yeah, I'm not saying buy my stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just want
it's
people to see it somehow.
yeah. But I think people get too caught up in that, and that's where they fail because they think that they have to be constantly plugging, but they don't understand that there's different ways to network or get your message out there or get the people to see your work. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an author buy my book. It could be coming on and talking about a movie or a genre or something,
Yeah.
and that's just giving an outlet. Oh, who's that person? What do they do?
Well,
And
it's easy now to make. You can make an Instagram account for your movie. Hopefully, you've got Instagram friends to start with. I
mhm.
guess Facebook. Uh, been on there, been talking about my film for like at least the last 5 years.
That's what I was
But
going
I
to ask.
have got.
What is your kind of relationship with social media? Has it been a help?
It, it's yeah,
Is there ways
definitely
that
has
hold you
helped.
back? Have you dealt with flipping idiots who want to tear you down? Um, have
Oh
you?
yeah. I've had that. But yeah, I have had that, but not too much of that. Mostly people being supportive and stuff, and well, they can always if they don't like what I'm doing. It's pretty. I am an open book.
Mhm.
If you don't like the stuff I'm doing, then you'll probably just unfollow me or delete me or whatever, unless you are a personal friend. Um, but all my friends sort of they're not. We all like the same sort of shit or similar things enough
Yeah,
to.
you kind of have that commonality. That's why you have
You're not
friends.
gonna. I'm not gonna be friends with some crazy. I'm not crazy. Well, some conservative. I am. I don't. Someone completely opposite of what you like.
Yeah,
Some right-wing Christian, complete wanker. They're not going to be. I'm not going to be friends with them on Facebook. So I have no interest in them. So I won't be seeing things that are going to offend me by them on there because I'm not their friend. Same with if you don't like horror movies or my music stuff, and unless you're a relative or a family member of mine or an old friend who just goes, "Oh, Dick, you crazy bastard!" Like
He's at
you're
it
not going to
again.
be following my stuff, are you? You know.
Yeah.
So and you can unfollow people, you know. So if you know what I mean. So I'm not really going to have dickheads trying to tear me down too much because I guess on the public arena they can if they
Yeah, there's
want.
some people out there, and that's
I
what I
don't
was trying
bite
to
though.
prepare people. And the reason I talk to bring it up is because it puts a lot of people off. They're terrified of stepping up, putting their neck above the parapet, so to speak. Because there's these morons out there. If you're just doing anything creative, if you're shining a light, there's always someone sitting there and seething jealousy, and they just want to tear you down for the sake of it. How
Yeah,
do
oh,
you do? Yeah,
I don't bite. I don't even bite. I don't care. I
yeah.
don't bite. I haven't had anything too scathing. Um, I haven't had all great reviews for my film either. By the way, some people said some things in it. I'm going, oh yeah, but yeah, okay, I'll take it all on board
Mhm.
because well, there's smoke, there's fire, I suppose. So I go, okay, yeah, okay, if you think that about the plot, but then the other part of me, I'm not going to say what these things are because I don't want to, but I'm like, oh yeah, no, I wanted that in there. I just don't quite understand what I was, the way I was thinking.
Mhm.
So, but so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, accept good criticism and bad criticism. But some people are just trolls and dickheads. Yeah, that is true. And good luck to them, man. I
Yeah, but
haven't
never
got
let
time
it.
to waste
I
on
suppose
that
the
sort
point
of
I'm trying to
shit.
make is you never let it stop you.
You what? No. Don't let
You,
it get you down. Do not. Um, what was it that Chopper Reed said? Uh, everyone's got critics, even Beethoven. Can you name like two of them? So,
mhm.
who cares?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I said. That's the whole point. Is I want more creators out there. We need more people making stuff because if you just rely on the soulless grey corporate crap, you're just going to
Hey,
get the
hey,
same sludge.
far
Um,
as bad criticism goes, hey, at least they're talking about you, or they get you.
there you go. That's
If,
that's
if no
thing.
one's saying anything, then that's not good, is it?
Yeah,
So I'd rather people saying something than not saying something. So
there's no
but
one put in the
that's all.
chat.
I don't bite on that shit. So not that
Mhm.
I've had much of it anyway. So yeah,
Yeah, but
that's about it really.
I think people build it up in their minds that it's going to be a tsunami of like trolls the minute you step out there, and then they're afraid to start or they're afraid to put themselves out. And like I've had it,
Get it out
it's
there, do
never.
it. You only
It's
live once.
just
Don't
taking it. Yeah,
be 80 years old. Or be
yeah, the
old and then
regrets
go,
of never
oh,
having
I wish
tried.
exactly. Just give it a crack, man.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
give it
That's
a
what.
crack. You can make a movie on your phone now if that's all you got, and that's it. Go out, make a short test teaser on your phone with your friends, knock it together, and then do what I did, do a Kickstarter campaign. But I think it's important to go out. You've got to go out there and network. I went extreme and made my own short film program
Mhm.
to show originally to show my own short films, but I haven't really made short films for many years now, not too many anyway. Um, I've been making that feature film, that's why. But you just got to get out of there, man. And I know we're not all, as I said, we've said not everybody is like, especially if you're a writer, it's a very can be a very solitary experience, and getting out there can be very hard. But take your idiot mate along, get out there,
Yeah,
um, and even just chatting to people on social media and on horror forums and things like that will make you feel more comfortable once you start talking to people. Unless that can be bad too, like psychos out there and loonies on the social
um,
media. But then when you go out, you might have someone that you've been talking to, and you can go meet them and hang out and talk horror movies more in real life.
here's a thing I've noticed. Horror creators, most of them absolute sweethearts. I mean, some of the funniest, best people to talk to. Your generic horror fan, on the other hand, oh, they are rough.
Yeah,
They are so judgmental and nasty. And if you don't like the same set of 10 movies that are in the approved fucking golden tablets of horror, you're not a horror
yeah,
fan, right?
yeah.
And you're like, what the hell is wrong with you? Freaking relax.
I know we all like our different. Like I do love body horror and I love splatter movies. I'm not a big fan of the paranormal stuff or found footage stuff, but not. You know,
Oh,
there's always some good stuff like that. But it's just
I
not
have
my
right.
cup of tea,
Listen,
all right?
listen. I have a dedicated group
But I don't
that
pay people out
harass
for it.
me into watching found footage.
But,
I have a dedicated group in this channel because they know I hate
oh,
this
okay.
stuff, and they're like, "Watch this, Colin. Watch this, Colin. Put this in your show. Colin. Talk about this movie.
Oh, found
This
footage
you'll really
movies.
like this." Yeah, I have an actual dedicated group.
They're few and far
They just
between
want
what
to
I've
convert
seen that are
me.
good.
They want to convert me to found footage, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Would you? It's funny, you know. What I mean, you take it's all done in good banter, you know. But it's just so funny that you don't like found footage. What is wrong with you? And I'm like,
oh, well, come on. We've all seen Cannibal Holocaust, and you know, move on.
oh, I still can't get over that the director was taken to court and had to prove it was a movie.
I know it's a nasty, nasty story, and it's a nasty, nasty movie. You know, the animal cruelty, and it's not good, but it shouldn't be censored because that is what they were doing back then. It's a piece of history. It's too late now that it's all been done. It's not good. Don't do it now. But I still believe, and I think, watch it once. You know,
Yeah.
um,
There was actually it was
I haven't.
what was it? It was a film noir movie. I remember watching, and it was the first instance where they actually killed animals on screen. It was horrendous, and it was a couple
What
of
was it?
goldfish and a
What is it?
turtle. It was a film noir. It was like a detective, black and white detective movie. But that
Oh, even
actually,
before Cannibal Holocaust.
oh yeah, it was just a normal movie. But it was the fact that they had a fishbowl with two fish in it and a turtle, and the fact that they smashed it and the guy stood on it, and it wasn't
Yeah,
killed or
yeah.
anything. And you're like, oh, and that was, you're like, really, you had to do that?
People
When
thought
you're,
nothing of it back
yeah.
then, did they? But even that Cannibal Holocaust, that wasn't. That's very,
Oh
very,
god, I
very
haven't seen it in
brutal
years.
stuff. I haven't seen it in years either, but it sticks in your mind, man.
Oh
It's
yeah,
you
the
know,
whole
but what a powerful movie at the end, anyway. So like with the humans and some and the people on the sticks and stuff like that. Like well, you know, I own it in my collection, but it's not like it's not my date movie or anything. So
oh no, oh god, I went
that's
a number of
Tusk.
years ago.
Tusk is my date movie.
I went on a date movie, and she picked it. By the way, I was to see the hostel, and she was a normie.
What, not necromantic? Oh, usually it's necromantic, isn't it? Okay, anyway.
Well, the hostel
Yeah,
had come out, and she was the one that picked the movie.
yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
pretty bad,
okay,
man.
okay.
But it was a better movie than I thought. I didn't. I thought it was going to be terrible, and I watched it. I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. I mean,
Well,
like
listen,
as entertainment, I thought it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
okay, I never bothered with sequels because
I'm not
I
into
just knew
torture
they're
porn and that, but yeah.
no, no,
So,
no. I just find it's very formulaic, like the Saw movie, like Hostel. A lot of
yeah,
them,
I
they're
lost
just
track of them Saw movies. I got
yeah.
sick of them after a while.
I got a second one. I was out because I think, oh god, they're just going to repeat the same. It's
Yeah, I
just
can't remember. I might have got to number 3 or something, but I just can't remember anymore. Many years ago, but you know, the first one was great. But
yeah,
I'm not really into them sort of movies. Just like slasher movies, I sort of you know, being discovering horror, big part of horror in the 80s, watching all the slasher movies then, just watching them now, I just get quite bored of them. Few and far between, you know.
yeah. You have to
I
throw
feel like
something
it's
else
all been
in
done
now.
before.
Yeah,
Ribspreader sounds like a slasher movie, but it isn't a slasher movie.
no, I didn't
Um,
get that vibe at all
yeah, well, it's like a
from the
guy going
trailer.
around
Not,
killing people,
I
but
didn't
it's
get
not
that.
quite.
I didn't
Yeah,
get a slasher
the
movie.
trailer. I didn't want to show. I just wanted to show you the vibe of the movie
Yeah,
on that trailer.
and that's not
You know,
slasher
you can't
movie.
really tell what the story is.
Do you know the vibe I'm getting? Actually, Peter Jackson.
Yes, Peter Jackson is a very, very big
I'm getting
influence.
bad
Well,
taste.
early Peter Jackson. There's no
Yeah, bad
hobbits in my
taste.
films.
Dead Alive.
Yeah, yeah.
How the hell
Or
he got
brain
Lord of
dead,
the
as we
Rings?
call it over this
Yeah,
side of the
Dead
world.
Alive, Brain Dead. You know,
And
the
even Meet the
RP,
Feebles. I've got a puppet in my film.
the RPG scene, right? And bad taste. I still, because you actually see the rocket on the string.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, one of my films, Pelican Boy.
I still,
There's a strong influence of Peter Jackson. I've got some of my short films up on YouTube. Dick Dale's Cheesy Knob Nasties playlist, and I made one called Pelican Boy, which is a fake trailer for my
mhm.
reimagining of the Australian classic family movie Storm Boy. You heard of Storm Boy?
I have you.
About a boy in a pelican. It's an award-winning film over here. Happy Family Australian class. I remade it. A trailer with about neo-Nazi pirates who hate, or their hatred is pelicans. They hate pelicans, and they like seagulls. So they like go seagull, seagull, seagull. So they arrive up on these neo-Nazi pirates arrive on Pelican Island with Stormboy and his pelican. They kill the pelican, but they shoot the pelican because that's what they hate pelicans. These pirates. They kill the pelican, but they kill it beside a toxic waste dump. So it comes back from the dead as a zombie, and the zombie pelican, which is like a marionette puppet, and Stormboy, who turns out is a bit of a serial killer, and he's pretty good at it, go around killing all the neo-Nazi pirates in a sort of a Mad Max serial killing way. And that's the trailer for the movie. And that's got he's got like a sort of a bazooka thing that he shoots garfish. It's a fish. He shoots it out and kills pirates with it. And I've got another film, which you couldn't do these days, just called Yowie, and it's got like little kid from Skippy in it. Gets killed, and it's a bit like Rambo, but it's got like this guy's turned into a freak and stuff, but it has an indigenous person. I made this in the 90s. You couldn't do this now. I'm quite certain that my indigenous friends would have a heart attack, but they did like it back then. Things are different now, but they shoot. I've got a didgeridoo, which is a
I know
a
that
tribe. Yeah, well, I use it as a bazooka in my film.
There was a famous paedophile used to play that all the time.
You can't do that anymore.
Not one of your best exports, if you know what I'm talking about.
What's that one?
I said there was a famous paedophile used to play the didgeridoo all the time on TV.
I don't know.
Not one of your better exports. Let's just say.
Oh, okay, no worries. I'll keep that in mind.
He was. Oh, yeah. You don't know who I'm talking about then? No.
No, I don't think so.
He was on British kids TV for.
Oh, see. Not one of my British kids' TVs. I'm not really big on that.
No, he's just, I'll tell you when we're offline. I'll talk about it.
No worries. Yeah, cool.
There's certain words YouTube get upset about if you say them, and they're like, oh.
Oh, really? Oh, right. Okay.
Proper.
Well,
I don't care. I have enough backup channels.
I forgot about that sort of stuff. Anyway,
I don't give a shit. Honestly,
we got away with me pirates thing. Anyway, by the sound.
I don't ever want to be. I don't think I ever want to be monetizing this channel because I don't want to dance to their tune. I want to be able to have conversations and just rip and talk what we talk about because.
If you monetize it, then you've got to be.
Then you've got to play by their rules and then do all that silly shit, and then you just lose the whole fun of doing it. Like, fun,
totally. And that's like making a film with your own money, or you can do what you want. And I did do it. And there were certain things in my film I had to fight for to get. Because my friends these people had like other producers were going, oh, you can't do that. Oh, no, you can't do that, man. I'm going, no, you don't understand. And I did it. Oh, that's one of my favorite scenes. So having your own money and stuff, the advantage is you can make what you want, for better or worse.
Well, Damien Leone is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You made the Terrifier series?
Mate, sorry?
The Terrifier series.
Yeah.
He did that.
Matter that I'm.
He did that from private backers and crowdfunding,
and got bigger and bigger. Yeah, I'm not a big. I'm not a big fan of. I love the gore and everything in the last one. I just fucking hate mimes. It's a mime. It's not. It's so annoying. So it really wrecked the movie. I was sitting in there watching it with my friend. I'm going, it's a mime, and I just hate this thing so much that and not in a good way. Like, and I get it. Yeah, that's how come it kills people, because it's so annoying. And people go, ooh, and then they get killed. But and it went for 2.5 hours for a slasher gore movie.
We reviewed that.
90 minutes, mate. 90 minutes. That's all we want to see for a slasher movie.
We're starting to see that more and more. Expect A24 are the biggest culprits for it. They make a horror movie fucking 2 hours long, and it's.
You can cut it down to 90 minutes.
And you're like, and all these scenes that are.
You can still have character development and everything like that. I don't care. 2.5 hours for that. Most of those types of films, it is bullshit, man. It's a waste of time. It needs to be a 3-beer movie. That's what I say. Go to the cinema. It's about 3 beers if you're buying them. You can drink a lot more than 3 beers in 90 minutes if you want. But I'm talking about going to the cinema.
Not cinema prices.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Cinema prices. So, yes, and you don't want to go to the toilet too many times when you're
Yeah.
at the cinema. So, 3 beer movie. Like going to see Batman, I didn't bother. Like the new Batman, I didn't bother drinking at that one.
Oh,
I went, right, this is going to be a Coke and a packet of Twisties movie, because if I start drinking, I'm not going to need half a carton of beer to, like, have to smuggle it in. I wouldn't be able to afford to sit there for 3 hours or whatever the hell's
my
drinking,
God.
watching it.
I went to go and
I did.
see
I
Uma.
enjoyed it, but
Yeah, I went to go and see
sorry.
a horror movie in the cinema, Uma, but they said they had it on, and then when I got there, they didn't. So I reluctantly went to go and see the Batman, and they had it in that stupid X seat, that thing, the seats that vibrate and blow shit in your face,
Oh, right. I
buzz
don't
all
even
over
know
it.
what that is.
You know what? Some cinemas have them, like the seats basically move about and they jiggle, and then they
Oh,
blow
right. Yeah, we haven't got that in
spray
my
in your
hit count.
face, and you're just sitting there going. When they play one of the superhero movies, you're just like, and it's just like,
Yeah, I was at one of my friends has got his home cinema set up like that, but we only had to sit through. He was just showing us, and so he put on one of those Transformer movies or something. And it was
oh
like,
god,
so
there.
I just got the yeah. No, I haven't got the attention span to watch all these superhero. Yeah. But I'm going, this is pretty cool for a few minutes. Okay,
Yeah,
and then
tired now, and it's the same
but I
dialogue
get
for
it.
2 hours.
Yeah, no, I totally
Uh,
get it.
I've actually found myself delving more into horror because at least there's some feeling there. I've stepped away from fantasy, sci-fi, super. I'm just bored with it all. I tried
Horror science
over the
fiction's great, but they haven't made anything good lately, have they? I don't know. But yeah.
God no.
Yeah, not really lately.
No.
That I can
That's one
off the top of my
they've let
brain.
go by the wayside. Best one obviously Event Horizon. Love that. It's a
Yeah. I was gonna say,
science
Event
fiction.
Horizon,
Brilliant.
Alien, and then there's
Yeah.
Contamination. There's plenty good horror science fiction films, but none lately. I think of someone probably out there might think. Well, I can't think
Yeah,
off the top
actually,
of my head.
if
I'm
there
just
are,
waking up
let
for
us
the day.
know, and obviously I'll put in this. But
Just
I've
like
given up.
it is one of my favorite things to watch, horror science fiction when it's done good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've given up on like most of the other genres because it's just become freaking sewage pipe sludge, and
Yeah,
it's
well,
just
superhero
boring.
movies, man, I don't give a shit. Do not give a shit. I don't, and that's what every second film. You look at the cinema guide, or at least over here, and it's every second movie some new friggin'
Something with a
superhero
cape
movie.
on,
And
you're
so,
just like,
yeah, I don't give a shit, man. I do
no,
not care. But I do, saying I do watch The Boys on top at home in my own time, and I do watch Peacemaker, but
I
that's
liked
at
season
home,
one.
not.
I liked season one of the boys. Season two was just fucking weird.
Well, it's just
Didn't It
TV.
didn't get
Oh,
it
it
at
was pretty
all.
funny. Yeah,
Um,
it was all right.
Season three was like
It's not
trying
my
to claw
favorite
back
show
from
or
season.
anything.
No. I like
Sorry?
the first, like I said, I like the first season. I like the premise. I like the balls to the wall, but then it just got stupid. It just
I
got
want it to
formulaic.
end. I want
Yeah,
it to finish so
come
that
to a
Carl
conclusion.
Urban is free to go on and make the Judge Dredd stuff, man.
Oh, he's been
That's what I
trying to
want to
make
see
that.
him doing.
Uh,
Well, that's what we want to see. I don't want.
they were the comics I grew up with.
Me
2000
too.
AD. Loved them comics. They were
Me
bonkers,
too.
mental,
Absolutely.
weird, and
Needs more of those films.
there's a
Dredd. I thought they
major
did a
horror.
fantastic job of Dredd. It was great. It was
Do you know what put me
gory. It
off?
was like,
I'm as guilty as anybody
really?
else because I put it out in 3D.
I went twice and saw it.
I'm like, oh fuck, not another 3D movie. And then I'm gonna and it was
I
just for
don't know.
but they've done like Attack of the Titans, they've done a shitload of stuff, and it was just boring. And then when I actually got to see it, and then realized they use it for the slow mo scenes, I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
actually fucking clever. That's the right
that's what I
use of.
thought. I was going to say it was awesome. I loved it,
Yeah,
and
but
it was close to the comics. It was better than the Sylvester Stallone or
that
whatever.
was
Let's not talk
shit.
about that. Yeah, that had some good bits in it, but the
He ruined
Angel
it.
Brothers bit, whatever. But anyway, it was wrecked. It was shit. But the new
His
one was
ego.
great, and I loved it.
I am sick of that man's ego. He ruins. He talks about being a writer, but he self-inserts into every fucking movie he does. And he's done it from the dawn of time. I was like, mate, take your ego out of it, and you would have actually been an accomplished movie director. He's even talking about, he's bitching now about the Rocky franchise being taken off him because he's too busy with his own bloody ego and self-inserting, as opposed to building himself as a writer, knowing that as an actor you've got a shelf life.
Yeah,
and you're like, Come on, mate. You had more potential than any of the other from knuckle draggers during the 80s. And he just wasted it because his ego just got in the way. And now he's suffering because he's lost the thing that started him out. And
Well, yeah, I haven't seen the Creed movies. I think I might have seen.
saw the
I don't know.
first one. I was like, I was asleep.
I know
Bored.
the Rambo one was all right. One of the recent Rambo ones was pretty
All right,
brutal.
if he had shut
But I
up,
can't
like,
even
he
hardly
couldn't
remember.
shut up the whole way through the movie.
Sorry?
He wouldn't shut up the whole way through the movie.
The
Like,
Rambo one?
yeah, Rambo's meant to be silent, man a few words, and action. And the
Oh,
last,
see, I saw it a while ago now, but I do remember it was pretty brutal. And going, oh, okay,
he's just
all
like,
right.
yep,
So,
yep, the whole way through the movie. You're like, bloody hell, mate.
all of a sudden he
He
talks.
yeah, he just wouldn't shut up. I don't know, there's just too much yapping through it. And you're like, ah, this could have been half an hour shorter if you had shut your mouth and stick to the actual character and not want to. I think he forgot what Rambo was and jumped into another character, you know.
Look, I'm only there for the
Anyway,
kills, mate. I'm only there to watch the violence and shit. Anyway,
good ideas.
yeah,
That's good. Put into something fun.
yeah.
So, with Ribspreader, I have to ask, apart from leaving their butts everywhere, what has caused this deep-seated hatred of smokers? What
Oh
is
no, he
it?
goes. So he used to be like for those who I guess we haven't even said what the movie's
Yeah.
about. It's about an ex-tobacco icon who used to like the Marlboro Man. I don't know if you had him overseas, but it's like a selling cigarettes tobacco icon. We had like this cowboy back in the 70s over here called the Marlboro Man, and you know, and so he used to be like that. Then they banned cigarette smoking, tobacco advertising. So he
Mhm.
sort of lost his job and his life sort of went down to shit. Anyway, the movie, he lives in, and he's blown all his money that he had and everything, and he's just living in a rundown apartment. And his mother just dies of lung cancer, and he's been nursing, looking after her before the movie. And then he's in love with this stripper who hates him, and he has a complete mental breakdown. The movie Maniac, William Lustig's Maniac's got a lot to, like a very big inspiration with Ribspreader. So he goes
Mhm.
completely bonkers. This anti-smoking billboard icon Sigmund comes out of it. And the board goes this breakdown after this traumatic night, which you'll have to see the film, and taunts him and taunts him and taunts him on this big epic LSD sort of inspired thing, chasing him through the streets. And it ends up anyway. It's telling him he must kill smokers, and his life will go back to, and make a smoking jacket out of their lungs, and his life will go back to the way it used to be. And no, no, no! I know it's mad. He's completely fucking insane. Anyway, he ends up breaking and then turning into Ribspreader. Makes a machine and starts cutting up the lungs and making a jacket out of it. But he lives in Serial Killer City, Murder City, where it's serial killers. So everyone in that city is either serial killers, mad people, victims. I guess it's a little bit of Judge Dredd, you know, like
Mhm.
everyone seems to be in them stories are criminals, aren't they, or victims? And that's pretty much what this city is. But he has to. It's a turf war for other serial killers and freaks and weirdos and misfits and maniacs in this city for victims. There's not enough to go around. And he's got to be on the books. The Hand of Death cults run the city, run all the crime in the city, and he's not
Very
on the
Mad
books. And
Max
he's
as
got,
well. I can kind of get
yeah, it's got
that.
a bit of
Yeah.
everything in it, man.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of everything in it. And so I know the story isn't, gets a little bit thin. It's a little bit weird and wacky and out there, and probably plot holes in it. I don't give a shit, man. It's just total entertainment. 90 minutes of insanity and fun and good laughs and some blood, guts, gore and some interesting characters. And I put a lot of detail into the set pieces. I've got hot rods in it. I've made sure that there's no mobile. Oh, there's no modern mobile phones in it.
Mhm.
There's no computers in it. It could be set in the 80s, but it's not really clear where it's set. I got all them old garbage. I refuse to have any of them plastic bins in there, wheelie
Is it a
bins.
bit like
Just had,
Sin City, sort of? You don't really
yeah,
know
it's got
when it's
that.
set.
Yeah, it's a cousin
Yeah.
of that. You could say that. Yeah, it's a bit of that in it. Bit of Bronx Warriors in it, in a way, and you can see that it almost goes there. But maybe if it was possible to make a number two, we could see where I have got ideas. But even though You have to, I don't want to give anything away about the
No,
film,
no,
but
obviously not, because
it's
we
like the
want
beginning
people.
of it's like the end of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. They
Mhm.
still made number 3, didn't they? Like after the world blew up. So
I like
not
number
the
3.
world doesn't blow up in this.
I enjoyed the. I thought actually there were some gruesome elements to number 3
Oh,
without
I
being
love the
gory.
Planet of the Apes original series.
We'll not talk about that
I
weird old.
enjoyed the new ones too. I'm a
Um,
very big Planet of the Apes fan.
yeah, but not that weird remake. What was that? 2000 or something with
We don't need to talk about Tim
Yeah,
Burton's movie.
yeah. That never
The
happened.
new ones I think are great. They're making another one. Let's see how that goes. Let's hope they keep up the quality. But the originals, the
I used to
original
have
Planet of the
those
Apes.
on little, little 45-inch records. So you had the Planet
Oh yeah,
of
I
the
had
Apes
them too.
comic, and you had the record.
Power. Yeah, I've still got one.
Oh God,
Out
all
the
my
back
stuff's
there. I've got
gone.
the comic and I've got the record. I think it is for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I still have that one. I've lost all the
Yeah, a
others,
bunch of them. They
but
were
I still
great.
have that from my child. Yeah, Power Records they were called, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've still got that one, and I've got like an LP with some of the about 4 of the TV series stories characters. They put out a record too, an LP, or maybe 3 stories with was it Verdon and Burke and Galen and their adventures. I've still got that out the back as well. But yeah, Planet of the Apes actually was a film that made me want to make movies.
Yeah,
Back
especially
then when I was,
Charlton Heston, just that they did it so eloquently and they had deep ideas, but and there was an undertone of horror throughout it, but it
well,
wasn't straight a
the
horror
first
movie.
third of
Just
that movie, just
yeah,
like the spaceship crashing and everything. It's like into the ocean and into the lake, and it's so cinematographic. You know,
mhm.
it's fantastic. And then walking through the desert, and the music is amazing, like Jerry Goldsmith. And then when you first see the apes and the cornfield and everything, it's fantastic. That is the shit that made me want to make movies. A big one of the things, and
Mhm.
I still love Planet of the Apes. I always watch it once a year, and then I have to watch the others. When you watch 20,
So, yeah, you
get
got to
going
do
there.
it. Here. I happened to be earlier on today. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to be reviewing the first Puppet Master movie,
Oh, okay, wicked.
right? So of course I stick on the
So
first
I haven't
one, and
seen for a
then
long time.
yeah, and I'd stick on the first one, and then I accidentally watch 5 of them. That's why I'm kind of like this because I'm
Oh
like, you
yeah.
can't just watch one. You have to
I know.
you just have to power through. And I'm like, holy crap! I've just watched 5 movies in a row with like 4 piss breaks. I'm like, oh man.
It's like if you think you're just going to watch Rogue One, Star Wars. And there's, yeah, okay, I've got to fucking put
So I
the
couldn't
first
even.
Star Wars on. Then you've got to put Empire Strikes Back on. No, maybe not everyone does. I'm just saying as an example. Let's
Yeah,
move on.
that's another argument.
We're not here to talk about
My
Star Wars.
buddies are still have hope for that franchise, and I'm sorry, Uncle George
We don't
triggered
need
me
to
with
talk about Star Wars. It's all
yeah,
right.
and I just went nah, I'm out.
That's okay.
Can't do it. Can't.
There's not enough horror in it. There is stop motion animation.
But that's
But anyway,
striking me. But stuff like that and the way it's happened has made me appreciate more the horror franchise and uh, all the subgenres and all the different flavors. Like you can watch 5 different horror movies and they'd be completely different. And people have this thing in their head about horror being slashers and slasher movies only
yeah,
because that's
that's one of the most boring things for me personally.
yeah, it's
Like I
sort of
love The Thing. The Thing is one of my favorite horror movies of all the time,
gripping,
and they're completely
tense.
different. So they're two completely different films, just as an example.
Yeah,
Um, but you know, the other people, uh, Freddy Krueger's their favorite, so that's a franchise. You know, I don't think I'm really big on the franchises. I'm just sort of like, I think I'm more of a,
well, I'm
I
guilty
like individual
of a
and
Nightmare on
Peter
Elm Street
Jackson.
fanboy. I'm a Robert
Yeah,
Englund
that's fine.
fanboy.
I'm just saying. Yeah,
Um,
nothing wrong.
I'll never
I enjoy them.
yeah. Uh, I made a joke about oh yeah, blah blah blah. And my mate went, "What are you doing?" And then I went out and bought the box set just to redeem myself. I'm like, I
Oh yeah,
still
I've
love
got
it.
the box set over there. I've got the
I'm
box
like,
set behind
I
me.
still love
So
it.
I
Um,
enjoy them, but I think my favourite
but
films
to
are
move
just like
on,
one-offs, and even the Peter Jackson films, right?
mm,
So, but I do consider Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, and Brain Dead, Dead Alive as a trilogy in a way. You
yeah, I
know,
can
they
see
were
it.
his first. and then because then he made Heavenly Creatures and The Frighteners, and that's when he started to go Hollywood,
Yeah.
bigger budget and stuff. So they're not quite the same. Well,
No,
they're
it doesn't
not
have
as
that gritty.
bad taste. The
Yeah.
bad taste elements that the first three have. The bad taste
Our, our
humor
friends were
and
killed by a
that's
bunch of
not quite right. It's a bit
bastards.
wrong. Yeah,
Here we go.
it's all a
I'm
bit
gonna
wrong.
get you, motherfucker, putting the fucking alien suit over his head, and
And that movie took him years to make. Bad Taste. Like he was
Yeah.
filming it for 2 years, just of his own money, and with his mates. So it's not unusual. Like Ribspreader really took me 2 solid years to film.
Mhm.
Well, and there's COVID in the middle of that, so it's not So then I had like 6 months of what's going to happen, and I didn't really start filming it properly until I got my Kickstarter campaign going. So it's only really 18 months to 2 years of, say, 18 months, because come on, give me the COVID break,
Yeah.
the pandemic break. So 18 months of solid, that's how long it took me to film majority of my film. And other things I had to do, like, so the film was filmed in Australia and London. I had Rat Scabies from The Damned, the original drummer from The Damned. He's in the film as the father at the funeral. So I think that's on the teaser. The father in the at the funeral scene. So I got him in there. We filmed Rat stuff over in London, facing like his front bit in a graveyard in London, and they've done all the reverse stuff over here with a Rat Scabies body double, and it's pretty good. You sort of people will be looking for it now probably, but I think we've done a pretty good job for it. And we had Lloyd from over in New York. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so it was only like 18 months of that. But yeah, stuff like Rat Scabies. I'd met Rat over here. Went and he was drumming for the band, the members, and we had a few drinks together afterwards. The show with some other like it wasn't just me and Rat. There's a bunch of us, and I said, oh, you could be the father in my film. He's going, oh, that sounds like a good idea. 3 years later, I emailed him and said, Rat, it's me. Sent him a picture of us drinking and said, remember me? I said, that movie? I said, you want to do it? I got some mates over in London who can film here, and he's there. Took about 3 days, and he goes, all right, I'm up for it then. And we did it. So don't give up. Try anything, man.
Yeah,
because I knew that the more cameos and stuff you got in it, the more people are, oh, wow, you've got this actor in it. And even if they ain't in it for like, a minute, still got Rat Scabies from The Damned in it, which is a big deal, man. So Rat Scabies is in it. Lloyd Kaufman's in it. Australian Ozploitation's star Chantal Contori, who was in Snapshot and Thirst, Australia's first vampire movie feature film. She's in my film.
I'll tell you another thing. I'm not a massive fan of the zombie genre.
Me either. I'm just going to plug my phone into the thing.
Wormwood, Road of the Damned.
Oh, fantastic movie. Both their movies are great. Both their movies are fantastic. Now, I hope they make a third one. So I had to move that because I had to plug my phone in so it doesn't die.
All right.
But so Kia Roach Turner, who made it, said basically, because the first Wormwood movie, I think it's called Road of the Dead.
Road of the Dead. Road of the Dead.
Yeah. Anyway, he said that was the most downloaded movie of 2015, I think. The year that might have been the year it came out, but it was the most pirated movie. So lots of people saw it, but they didn't get any money. Yeah, they lost. They didn't get any money out of it. Not that you get much money, but they got sort of. No, but they got screwed over on that.
Channel, fucking pay for your shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You'll go to a friggin' coffee shop. You'll go to a coffee shop. You'll spend $5 on a flippin' sugar caramel whipped cream piece of shit, and you
can rent things off YouTube.
Yeah,
it's not hard. It's not very expensive generally.
YouTube's a ripoff.
If you are going to pirate the movies, at least buy the DVD or Blu-ray after, man. Jeez,
yeah,
I can understand trying.
But anyway, physical copies, mate.
Sorry. There is. We are talking about that. A bit early to say who with what, but we are talking about doing a DVD, Blu-ray, and limited edition VHS of the film. So I've just hit the ground running after the Fringe Festival this year. I'm getting it out to obviously this wouldn't be happening. I'm trying to get it out to the international film circuit at the moment. So any contacts out there, it's also not what you know, whatever. It's who you know to get your film played at these things too. It seems
Yeah, it's
a fair
very
bit.
secret handshake sort of thing. And that's why I'm
You
saying
want
the
people
film.
to, you want the right people to see your movie. That's all.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, no worries. But did anyone actually see it? I don't even know. Or the right person see it, who's got a bit of an idea about it. So it has to do that first before. So that'll be the second half of the year. I'll find out about quite a bit of that, I guess. And I have got some people helping me, and then because you can't put it out on DVD or Blu-ray while you're still doing the festival circuit.
All right.
Yeah, and I want to do the festival circuit because it'll be horror film festival. I want the right people to see it.
Yeah, understood.
So horror
But
film festivals.
for
Is a
like
good
myself,
place
I want to
to.
buy a copy, and have.
I want to have it. I've got a DVD and Blu-ray collection and stuff. I love to have them. Yes.
Yeah, there's something
So
about
I've even still
physical
got some of my
copies.
VHSs there.
People are going back to that now. I think people are burnt out with streaming because it's just went the rat shit, and they're going back.
Yeah,
to
streaming will
physical
be the
media.
last thing that I really want to do. I was, people were hassling me going, "Oh, I'm going to streaming service, or do you want to put it on?" I'm going, it can go on. Now, I'm probably wrong, and it's just my opinion, but I just went, "Oh, it can go to a streaming service to die later." They go, "Yeah, that's not, man, that's not where it's at. It's streaming service is what." I'm just going, well, I'm old school. I really believe Ribspreader is a movie that is best seen in a cinema with a bunch of people, and that is already proven itself true by the screenings here in Australia. Like,
Mhm.
it's nothing better than seeing a cinema like laughing their heads off or something, even freaking out a little bit in bits and pieces. But that's the best way to see this my film at least, and that's the way I made it. So even when I send screeners to people, I just yeah, watch it, but it's just not quite the same watching it at home on your own.
Oh no,
I
it's
reckon.
it's all about the vibe and people are hankering for that again. I think people have got disconnected from each other and they
Yeah.
forget what a social experience.
Oh,
we're of an age, we grew up with it.
yeah. Going to
And
the cinema, seeing a film, and then going down having a few brews afterwards, or a coffee, whatever your thing is, and talking about the film afterwards, and then having that's a good night out, I
yeah,
reckon. Anyway.
I think we're going back that way. I think we're starting to get people back the
I hope
sort of
so.
thing
I'm a
again.
champion of cinema,
Mhm.
definitely.
And I think cinemas are starting to evolve, that they're holding events now and you can rent it out. You can have mini festivals or just screenings. There's
Get
more
out of the
options now.
house.
Yeah.
And as we discussed earlier, it doesn't matter. It can be a cinema, or it can just be a pub, or a seedy little hole in the wall somewhere with a sheet on a wall
But
with
you're with
projector.
like-minded people, you're there for a good time, and you're
Yes,
surprised how
exactly.
bloody fun it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's totally great. And if there's a
the
bar
internet's
there,
great.
I totally think that's even better. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the internet is fantastic. It's great to be able to do this from halfway across the globe. It's great to be able to
yeah,
meet
it's
people that you
amazing
normally
what we can
wouldn't,
do now.
but you need that tangible physicality. That's what makes life worth living. That reminds you why you're alive. And horror as well reminds you that you're alive because there's so many ways to die. And so many
Yeah.
ways, the long, slow, gruesome deaths that you may as well enjoy
Oh
life.
yeah, I carry a notebook around. Always think. I work at a bar, mate. I think of ways to kill people all the
I,
time.
I did it years ago and fucking put my head away. I used to do the door, and oh,
Oh
man,
right, yeah.
I ended up teetotal for a year and a half. I just couldn't drink because I just saw so many idiots. I'm like, nah, and just
I
gave
work at
up.
a pretty good bar, so I'm sort of exaggerating a little bit.
Yeah, I was part of a group, so you sort of had your main bar for during the week, and then weekends you went to the busier places and
Yeah,
covered
we
people and
have
stuff.
it's an artist bar, so
Mhm.
like it's a lot of artists and musos and that go there. It's pretty cool actually. But the club next door is a club with dance music, and
Oh,
generally every week there's fights out the front, or someone comes to almost die out the front of our club, from the club next door, and then the ambos turn up, and so that's where I see the shit part of life.
Yeah.
through next door. Not so much where I work, but
Well, that's
I've always
lucky.
got my notebook there. Yeah, it's got. We have a good bar, so I can't complain about that. And I the bar where I work at, I can look like I want at it. I don't have to cover my tattoos up or pull my piercings out or anything like that, which is apparent. If I work for a company, that's what I have to do. My boss is very supportive of Arthur's Art Bar, are very supportive of my films. In fact, they put some money into my film, to finish the sound on it for me. And if I need to go to a film event, or if I need to go to a Trashorama or something, yeah, sure, take the time off. So, I'm allowed that. So that
There
is
you go.
why
Lucky.
I choose to work there. I do not want a 9 to 5 job. I need to be able to be creative, because if I have to do that, then I might as well just kill me now. I don't care.
No,
I
I
need to
hear you.
be
That's why I
creative and
can't.
do my stuff.
I've just quit
Yeah.
another job there. I just can't.
I'd rather be. I'm used to living poor anyway, and so that's why it was also pretty handy to make a film, because I'm used to having no money. So yeah,
You get inventive.
it does help.
Dick, I will not keep you on. I know you need to cut your head down for a bit as well.
Actually, yeah, I need to sleep, because then I need to get up again in 2 hours.
Again. Just say, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I can go on for
Thanks,
hours.
mate. Great talking to you.
Honestly, great conversation. We'll talk offline about reaching out and connect with people. But everyone in the chat, thanks for turning up. Those are watching us. Facebook's went.
Thank you
wonky
very
again, but
much.
everyone in YouTube and Twitter, thanks for turning up. Check out the description. That's where all Dick's links are. When I get more updates, definitely I'll put it out there for you to catch up. But yeah, keep an eye out.
Thank you.
For Ribspreader.
And if you're short filmmakers, send your movies in, or contact me through one of the avenues.
Get in touch with the show.
And if you're listening to this show, I'll give you a waiver. Just mention Colin HORRORific, and I will give you a waiver, because I just want to see films, really. And sometimes money can be an obstacle. I'll keep it very cheap to enter the film, and the money in my festival anyway. The money only pays for costs to get me to Melbourne for the screening and that. But basically, I just want to have a really, really good program. So I don't, that's what it's all about.
That's what we're all about here. Networking.
Hopefully, we'll get Ribspreader to wherever you are in the world. And it is batshit and crazy. All I wanted to do, well, one of the things I wanted to do, was make the most insane fucking movie to ever come out of Adelaide. And where I live, from South Australia, Wolf Creek came from here, Bad Boy Bubby came from here, and I think I have made the most craziest movie to ever come out of South Australia. And I'm going to tell you now.
I'm looking forward to this now. But there you go, folks. Keep up
Thank
with
you.
the channel. Do the typey clicky things. And until next time, keep it creepy. Keep it horrific.
Stay sick. Whoop.